and welcome back to this next video. In this video I am going to do several different operations. I'm going to shell the head to make it hollow. I'm going to put a little lip around here. Now from my drawing I have this looking like a telly screen. Obviously we're using Orwell's 1984 as our kind of starting point for this robot. So this is going to be like a telly screen. So I want to fit a telly screen onto the front of this. So I want a little lip in round the edge here that I can then fit my screen into. So I'm going to do that just now. So if you bear with me a second. So what the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch a profile onto this edge, and I'm going to sweep it around here and cut the material away. So I've got a little lip for my telly screen to fit into. Now before I go any further, I'm just going to save that, give it a name. I'm going to get into the habit of saving every sort of 10-15 minutes. So let's call that full head. Give it a name, because when you look through your versions, if you have to go back to do anything, you don't want them all just to be save without any names. It gets really confusing. And really, you know, organization is the core skill that we're looking at here as well. All right, so I've saved that. Now I want to sketch onto this edge. So I can see that that edge, because of the way I've drawn it, is on this plane which runs right through here. So I'm going to choose my sketch tool and I'm going to sketch onto that plane. Now I want to sketch in here somewhere. Now I can't see in there, so I'm going to switch it to wireframe. So I have my visual styles down in the bottom in this little toolbar here, and I can see that I also have hotkeys down here that I can use to control as well. So if I want wireframe, I can go to Control 7. Now I have to be careful because, you know, actually some of the keys actually affect my screen recorder because they share the same hotkeys, but I can go in and change them if I wanted to. So I want to, onto this little edge, I want to create a profile that I'm going to sweep around like that. So I'm just going to do a little sketch. Now I'm going to do a 2-point rectangle, and I want to keep that nice and easy. So 2, and I'm going to tab down the other one by 2 like that. And I'm going to finish that sketch. Now you can see that it's still blue. So again, if I wanted to constrain it, I could go in and I could constrain it so I could make that edge coincident with that edge, but it doesn't seem to want to grab that edge. Yeah. Now in Fusion, if I press P, I can then project sites or entities. So if I wanted to make something like an active thing that I can project onto, I could use that. But I'm quite happy. I've got that there, 2 by 2 on that edge. I'm going to finish my sketch. Now, when I zoom back out of this, there's my sketch nicely there. So I'm going to sweep that around that edge. So I'm using my sweep commands. I'm going to sweep. Now I'm actually going to change back into a solid view so you can see it. So it brings me up this menu manager. Again, it wants me to select that profile. Now that profile can be quite difficult to select. There we go. So I've got it there. Now, an interesting thing in this is I can actually see over here, I've got my sketches there. So a lot of the time they're just switched off, but you know, I can switch it on and off like that. So I've got that one selected there, and I can actually find them within sketches, and I'll show you that later on. So I've got that profile, and now I want to select the path. So I'm going to select that path around there, and it automatically thinks I want to cut it out. It goes red like that, which I do. So I want to cut that, and I have my little sweep around that edge like that, creating that profile. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to shell it. I was going to punch a hole in the front here for my camera lens to go through, and I was going to punch some holes in the back for my ventilation. But if I do that now, when I shell it, it'll give me problems. So this is the point I want to shell it. So when I select the shell thing, it wants me to select a body. So that's selected that whole body. It's all gone blue. I can also, if I wanted to, I could just drag a box over the top and I could shell it like that as well. So it's given me the option. Now, I want quite a thick shell, so I'm going to make my shell about 5 mil. I'm going to imagine this being cast in aluminium or cast in a metal. So I want to make that thick. Now, I don't know what's going on there. I can't see what's happened inside. So I'm going to go into my inspection and I'm going to take a cross section of that. And I'm going to have a little look to see, well, straight away I can see, you know, in there isn't great. You know, that's very thin. Let's have a little look if there's anything else that doesn't really work. the rest of it looks fine. It's just that there. Now I can say OK to that, and what it'll do is it'll save it into my analysis here. So I can switch that on and off like that. Okay. Now I need to fix that. Now what I would often say to my kids now, if we were doing this and the evaluation was at the end, I would be taking a print screen off that, and I'd be going across and I'd be pasting that in like that, because that would be something I could talk about in my evaluation of how I had to fix that. So I could do it a couple of ways. I can either go back into the sketch over here and I could make this less deep. So I can make that feature, that extrusion over here less deep. But what I think I might do is I might actually just add a fillet onto that and make that thicker. So let's have a little look what happens when I fillet that. Okay, so that looks better. So again, I'm going to make that a nice... Oops. What happened there? What happened there? That's a 6 meter. Yeah, there we go. So that's why that won't work. Be careful, and I do that quite a lot. So I've got that filleted in the inside, and I can now see that that actually works better. So I'm going to do another print screen of that, and I'm going to paste that into another document. Now I'm just going to keep that like that. I'll add a little note in a second. It's better than try to think, well, what did I do? How did I change the problems I encountered? So it's good to get into that habit of just keeping a record of what you've done. Now, I'm imagining this being cast. Obviously, this very sharp surface here and this very sharp corner here would be a nightmare. I would want some kind of fillet, some kind of draft angle on there. So I'm going to put a fillet. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to put a fillet on there like that, and I'm going to make that a nice small radius, maybe 3, something like that. And I'm then going to go in and I'm going to do the same on this one on the inside there as well. So let's make that the same. Let's make that, what did we say the other one was, 3? Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, I've got that now. See how I missed that one out the top there? I could go back in and add that in. Nah, I'm just going to miss that out completely. Just ignore that last little bit. So I've got that. So I've got that shelled. Now I want to put a cut onto the front of this and subtract material into the inside of it. So I'm going to switch off that analysis, and I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to select front face, and I'm going to, let's see, 31, let's make that 30. Seems to be the recurring theme. Or do I want to make that a bit bigger? Let's make that 40. Not 4,000 odd like I've done there. Let's cancel that. Look at that, 3,040. That's a big lens hole. So I'm going to go back into that, and I'm going to delete that. I'll try and delete it. Why does it not? Because I'm in the sketch. I suppose I could have just edited that sketch and made it 40. It would be a better thing to do, wouldn't it? Zoom in on that. Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? Definitely. So I'm going to finish that sketch, and I'm going to extrude that back in, and I'm going to do that to the next surface. Now, I'm doing that because I don't want to drag that back. If I drag that back, I run the risk of it cutting through the back. Let's have a little look what that looks like inside. So I'm going to switch on my section there. Let's have a little look. So I could drag that back in. Now I know that thickness of that wall is 6. Never do all, it'll go all the way through. So I'm going to do to the object, and I'm going to select the back out of that face like that. And it's going to not generate it at all. Don't know what happened there. Oh, I do know what happened there. That's just the edge of it. So let's have a little look at that. That looks better. Nice. So I'm going to switch that off. Now I have my TV hole for my lens. Okay, that's the end of this one. The next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the extrudes on the back of that. Thanks.